Hyper mode. Activate. What's good, y'all? How's my audios? What is good, y'all? We starting with a little light work today. Just a little bit. With another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video. Live with your boy Jet Ski Chuck. You want to be careful with these disturbing discoveries, because they might change your entire reality. What's good? Shout out Joe. Yo. Welcome Mel. Mel, welcome to Dark Waters 9. Yo, that's huge. Welcome. I'm thirsty. I need those dark waters. Yeah, man. I feel like we need to recap, man. We need to go back and we need to go over them damn Cabbage Patch. You seen it on the thumbnail. That's the theme of today's video. Them Cabbage Patch. What was going on? Who knew these boys would be creepy and scary? They lying to us about something, y'all. They lying. If you are watching this in the future, this is a live video. We have to tap in with the community. Everyone has to check in. You know, it's been a weekend. Shout out to all the fathers. I hope y'all got it in. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We go live. We try to drop videos throughout the week. What is good? Life once lived. What's good? Joe. Guys, if you haven't been in the Discord yet, be sure to drop some photos you might want to go over in the Discord. We might be going over those tonight. Definitely this week. So be sure to upload that Discord with lots of juicy different stuff for us to go over. Hey, we in the sub, y'all. All right, guys. Hit that like and subscribe. We're just waiting for everybody to get in here and we're going to start it up. We're going to start up with a recap of these Cabbage Patch. Go over it together as a group. Analyze thoughts. You know? Lobo Speed, welcome. Lil Bo P. Let's go. Welcome. Life S in the chat. Welcome, y'all. Joe in the building. Welcome, Joe. Man, I hope y'all had a great weekend, man. We in for an exciting week, man. Is it just me, or is it hot than a mug outside? Huh? Is it just me, or is it extremely hot out? You know, if you're lucky enough to have a pool, man, I would be living in the pool. You wouldn't be able to get me out. Destiny, the gunner, what's good? Hey, yeah, we in here from the beginning, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. This a live boy. Who knows what we about to get into, to be honest. You know, we on these waters. We're gonna start off with these Cabbage Patch. What's really going on? You know? Welcome, y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like. Severs in the building. What's good? Kip. John. Hold on, y'all. I gotta put the chat in here. All right, y'all. We got the chat in this thing. 95-degree index, 103. Man, what's up with this heat? They sending them frequencies into the ionosphere, ain't they? They sending those frequencies into the ionosphere, ain't they? Hey, shout out to Tree Time. All right, y'all. Let's dive in. Y'all know what it is. Swivel mode. Make sure my audio is decent. Let me turn this back up. He said, do not open that window and let my AC out. Whatever you do. John, what's good, man? Kari, Bay Area, stand up. Where y'all from, man? Type y'all area, where y'all from. Hit the like button. If you're watching on your TV, go grab your phone and be interactive, man. This is a live event. You caught your boy live. Grab your phone, jump in the chat. We got to talk about some things, man. This is interactive. And if you happen to have Discord, you know, we'll get there. We might not get to it. What's good, Chicago? Dan, welcome. All right, y'all. Myrtle, South Carolina, let's go. All right, if you don't know about the Cabbage Patch, here's a quick little refresher, real quick, before we dive in. Florida in the building.
What is this, friend? What is this, friends? What is it? With the babies and the cabbage patches. Now, our good friend Miss Pretty told us to talk about the Cabbage Patch babies, and that's what we're gonna do. Now, quick history lesson. Back in the 1800s, late 1800s, around 1863 or 1865 to be exact, there was a transcontinental train that was built to go east to west, okay? At that time, there were new states that were being purchased, like the Louisiana Purchase, and we were expanding to the west. And supposedly there were no people there. Because rumor has it, and most theories have it, that there was a Tartarian Empire here in the United States who existed before people got here, and the conquerors came and conquered the Tartarian Empire and took all their stuff, which is why we got a bunch of buildings that look like old cathedrals with gargoyles and all of that. However, when these trains went west, they took children with them. And supposedly these were orphan children who needed to be adopted. So instead of them looking for homes for these kids on the East Coast where they were born or originated from, they shipped them west to repopulate the West. And if y'all think I'm lying, I'm not. Here are advertisements for orphans. Now, what makes this even more strange is it was said that these kids were going to be reprogrammed, and that they were children of parents who were either out in the streets, strung out, or they didn't make it because they had been drafted. But it was a lot of kids. Now, a little further down the line, there was this woman by the name of Alice Guy who was a French film director. But it was something a little different. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I'm going to see if y'all get it. She all of a sudden started popping up on all these postcards with orphan babies who needed homes. What's suspicious about this, you ask, friends, is where did all these babies come from?
It's these postcards. You know, this is for entertainment purposes, of course. Do your own research on everything. But these postcards that's everywhere about how they looking, you know, it's just lining up, y'all. These stories is lining up too well. And I find it extremely fascinating, man. One of y'all was like, I don't see any black babies. And I'm like, hey, y'all got a point. You know, I didn't even catch that. So we might have to dive into that.
Now, again, they try to say that these babies came from parents who were just bad parents, and some of them just signed their rights over because they couldn't raise their children, and their children needed to be reprogrammed. But there's another theory, friends. Dr. Martin Coney apparently introduced incubators at a 1937 World Fair, okay? Now, these World Fairs were made to show people all the type of technological and industrial advances from all over the world. But what he decided to put on display was babies, and preemies at that. Now, they had incubators on display lined up and down this event at this World Fair, but my question is, where you get the babies from?
I was saying, hold on, we live, so we really gotta dive into it. Guys, tell me, what do y'all think? Where did they come from? I need y'all thoughts below. Tell me where you think they came from. Bro, I had a Cabbage Patch doll, her birth certificate read. Wow. My mom's doll had them. He said, who do you know who owns the company? No, who owns it? You might be onto something very good. Who owns the company? Hasbro? My first guess would be Hasbro. You already know we trying, man. We gonna get on these waters a little bit, you know. They said they were ugly. I wanted nothing to do with them. They were crazed by the sound of it. Little people, they had meaning. Hey, those is all very good points, y'all. Very good points.
And as you can see, apparently around this time, there was a surplus of babies. Which leads me to my next point, because around this time, all these French postcards come out with all these babies in cabbage patches as if they're being farmed and grown. Like clones, right? And with the purpose to repopulate the West and to reprogram the children from unfit parents. And word on the curve is this man allegedly wasn't even a real doctor. He just went over there and told them people that he went to school, and they believed him because this the early 1900s. Who out here checking to see if you really who you say you are? And
I feel like people nowadays really ain't checking credentials like that anyway, you know? Like you always gotta question everything, man, for real.
And remember this lady? The French film director that was in all those postcards with all those babies being grown out of the ground? Child, her and that doctor and some other questionable folks had their own little plant right here called infant incubators. And it shows on the picture with living infants. I don't know, friends. It's giving clone to me. Well, I know that was a long video, friends, and I really hope I ain't got y'all up in too much of a tizzy, but I'm going to call y'all back later on. Bye.
The truth is stranger than fiction. I like that. The truth is stranger than fiction. Let's see if we can find a little bit more. All right, I found the next one. Navigating the live waters. Full content. Activate.
You remember the Cabbage Patch babies, right? Cabbage Patch Kids, those cute dolls that everybody was going crazy for. Did you know they have a dark history? And I'm not talking about the one where people were breaking their legs and fighting out in public to buy theirs.
Parents are fighting over these dolls.
What we believe were just cute little dolls actually comes from a dark history where people truly believed that you could go and pick your baby out of a cabbage field. People had no idea how babies were made or where they came from. The farmers would plant seeds, and then the couple would go and pick their baby out of a crop.
So that's the legend. Shout out Retro in the building. So it's an actual legend. They picking them out. Could it be something related to like a test tube? You know, we might have to dive into that. You know, they said, what you say, the truth is stranger than fiction. We got 200 people in here. Hit that like button. What's up, Kim? All right, y'all, let's continue.
It's the same storyline as the stork, where the stork would go and bring a baby to an awaiting couple. The difference was the parents would go to the farm to pick the Cabbage Patch baby. And if parents were not worthy of receiving these babies, they'd get unalive babies in return as a form of punishment. Graphic warning on this video that I found online, I didn't want to post the full thing. This is from the 1800s, and it was supposedly a fairy going to the Cabbage Patch to pick the babies out. They look like new babies too, like that's a little fresh baby. And give it to the people who were awaiting their child. I don't know if they found this humorous. They also believe that babies couldn't feel pain back then, so the way she's handling the baby, it's weird, but they didn't believe that there was any pain happening. I'll probably never look at Cabbage Patch babies the same after learning this.
Oh my goodness. What are y'all saying? What do y'all think about that? Hit that like. Double time. Hey, Joe, I appreciate it. Pale kids? I haven't even heard about pale kids. Stanaki. That's crazy. Yeah, they definitely had some wild theories. You said Mind Unleashed dives into it a little bit. Let me see if I can find something. Oh yeah, here it is. All right, y'all, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Mind Unveiled, my fault. That's what they're called. Mind Unveiled.
And when you look closely,
All right, guys. This next one is by Mind Unveiled. Be sure to check them out. They are talking about this. Hopefully, they can provide a little bit more answers to what this all started with this, because we did see a video they did about the Chicago that was interesting. So I'm curious to see what they are going to say about these Cabbage Patch babies, the correlations. Yo, greetings from the Netherlands. What's up, y'all? Young, what's good? All right, you guys wanted me to check this out. Let's check it out. Be sure to check them out. Give them a sub. Very interesting stuff they got. Mind Unveiled.
hey, what's up, guys? Today, we're uncovering a surprising connection in popular culture between cabbages and clones, mind control, and a classic horror tale. One of the most popular horror films of all time is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a film that's not just about alien invasion, but also about reshaping society, stripping away emotions, creating a so-called perfect world. This iconic film has chilled and thrilled audiences for decades, but there's an unusual twist, a link to clones and cabbages. Take a look at these Chinese cabbage farms, also known as Napa cabbage. Some say they were.
Hold on. I'm just gonna. Hey, these look weird. Look at them, y'all. They look like a straight up dinosaur egg or like an alien egg. That they probably used these for props one time. To be honest with y'all, they probably used these as props and we didn't even know it. They just painted it different colors, green. What did you say? Yeah, I gotta watch Body Snatchers. I never seen it. As a matter of fact, I'm about to write it down. Body Snatchers on my notes. Yeah, let's check it out.
Resemble alien egg farms. And when you look closely at the pods in the original 56 film, there's a striking resemblance. They're elongated, veiny, almost cabbage-like. As Invasion of the Body Snatchers evolved through its various adaptations, the depiction of the pods also transformed. Yet one element remained constant: the original concept of a plant-like alien entity capable of creating doppelgangers. This idea is the heart of the film's terror. It's not just about an alien invasion, it's about an invasion of the self, the replacement of individuals with emotionless copies.
Emotionless copies. That's smart, because it makes sense. Because you ever run into some people and they just ruthless, they got like no give, no push, it just be ruthless. So I'm hearing about these Cabbage Patch and it's like kind of making sense. It's like, you know, can these people just be straight cutthroat that's coming from these Cabbage Patch? Who knows, man? What do y'all think? Y'all gotta tell me. Make sure you hit that like. We almost at 250. Let's go. We're pushing 300, y'all, for entertainment purposes only. Keep your head on a swivel.
What some might call NPCs in our own world. Our journey through the film follows a protagonist grappling with a creeping realization. It's a tale of infection, of an unseen force causing mass hysteria. There's no escape, no sanctuary, because this phenomenon isn't localized, it's happening everywhere. The horror lies not just in the physical invasion, but in the psychological one. But there's more to this story than meets the eye. The movie also mirrors the fears of its time, the dread of war, the anxiety of being overrun and forced into a new, unfamiliar society. It's a reflection of the Cold War era, where the fear of losing one's identity to a conformist, emotionless regime was a real concern. This fear of conformity, of losing one's individuality to a larger, more powerful entity, is a theme that resonates throughout the film. The pods, resembling cabbages, become a symbol of this fear. They represent the loss of self, the transformation into something unrecognizable, controlled, part of a collective with no personal identity. Many argue about
Kind of sounds like a reptilian or shape shifting, you know. They wouldn't be able to give the Cabbage Patch any type of powers or nothing like that, would they? Would they? I don't know. It just came across, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a different gap that, we enter in. My druid is almost level 100. Hitting max speed with the wind shear. Hey, man, go crazy. A soulless clone. That's interesting. It's just I would have to see some type of correlation, man. Man, it's so much they don't tell us, man. So much.
Which version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is the best, but each version brings its own unique flavor to the story. The original is often hailed as the best, a classic in its own right. The 70s version, though it seems to be overrated, it does offer some truly trippy scenes. And in the 2007 adaptation, well, this one's possibly the most terrifying, bringing the nightmare into a modern setting. This concept of alien doppelgangers has permeated our media, but where did it all begin? The original film sets the stage perfectly, opening in an emergency hospital. It's a storytelling technique that hooks you immediately. We start in the future and then unravel the past. Our protagonist, Dr. Bennell, is perceived as insane, but as he recounts his story, we're drawn into a world where nothing is as it seems. A reoccurring theme emerges: disbelief. They won't believe you, say the clones. Patients begin to report to Dr. Bennell that their family members are imposters. Initially, Dr. Bennell, a man of science and reason, tries to dismiss these bizarre claims. However, a visit to his patient Wilma, who is convinced her uncle Ira is an imposter, starts to change his perspective. Sensing her distress, he schedules an appointment for her with his friend psychiatrist. The story takes a surprising turn when Dr. Bennell, alongside Becky, unexpectedly runs into this psychiatrist. In a revealing conversation, the
Tell me he doesn't look like the dude that really didn't have no license. Technically, like he said, oh, I'm a so-and-so able to do these procedures. Tell me that doesn't look just like him.
psychiatrist shares that he's encountered multiple patients with the same unsettling belief. Their loved ones have been replaced by imposters. This concept of a contagious hallucination strikes Dr. Bennell as odd, yet it sparks a sense of intrigue. Could there be a hint of truth in these seemingly outlandish claims? Now here's where things get more interesting. The whole concept of people being replaced by imposters is actually grounded in real psychology. We're talking about Capgras or Capgras delusion, a genuine psychiatric disorder that dates back to the early 1900s. This condition leads people to believe that someone close to them, like a family member or even a pet, has been replaced by an identical imposter.
What is going on here? Just close your eyes and open them and look at this. What's the first thing that comes to mind? What does it look like is transpiring here? This is crazy. This is some weird, creepy stuff. Look at it. What is going on here, y'all? Chat. I couldn't even tell you, man. That's crazy.
Named after Joseph Capgras, the French psychiatrist who first described it, these are beliefs where people, places, or objects are falsely identified. The disorder can show up in different forms, sometimes even with patients believing that time itself has been altered or replaced. Capgras first brought this to light in 1923 in a paper about a woman dubbed Madame Macabre, who was convinced that doubles had taken the place of her husband and others she knew.
Guys, if you're just now joining us, we're talking about the crazy things that's what people are saying about the Cabbage Patch. And this is by Mind Unveiled. Be sure to check them out. And yeah, this is extremely creepy, man. The photos they're showing, the giant dinosaur eggs they got in Japan, nobody ain't told us that they had.
Originally, it was called The Illusion of the Doppelgangers. In the movie, the plot thickens when Dr. Bennell gets an urgent call from his friend Jack, leading him to a startling discovery. There's a clone on Jack's table, not fully formed, laying there almost eerily still. In the room, there's this odd ticking clock and a poster with Mirror Noir written on it, adding to the strange vibe of this whole scene. And the town's called Santa Mira, or Ira, perhaps hinting at reflections and hidden truths. And as they're trying to make sense of this all, the clone begins to wake up. It's an exact match for Jack, right down to the recent cut of his arm. That's when they begin to realize that they're being cloned. Remembering he left Becky earlier, Dr. Bennell fears the worst. Racing back, his fears are confirmed when he discovers Becky's cloned body in the basement. Well, things take a wild turn the next night. Bennell, Becky, Jack, and Teddy discover duplicates of themselves forming in Bennell's greenhouse.
Yo, hold the phone. Apex with the $10 donation. Thank you. Apex always coming in here blessing. Thank you. Let's go, everyone. Keep your head on a straight swivel. Keep the comments going. Be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe. I'm trying to go live a lot more often, diving into certain topics. So definitely tap in with us. Thank you, Apex.
Emerging from these giant seed pods. There are moments in these scenes where it's hard to tell if we're looking at cabbage or an alien pod, but it's fascinating to see how many people recall these pods as cabbage-like. Some even compare cabbage fields to alien breeding grounds. Maybe there's something to this connection. In this movie, the birth of these duplicates from the pods are shown with a white fluid, kind of like in the movie Patchtown. There seems to definitely be a parallel here. Cabbages, with their pod-like shape, and these alien spores, creating emotionless, feelingless duplicates. These aliens are like parasites, just copying without any of the original spirit or creativity. But also, these pods are strategically placed so that when you sleep, they take over, creating a doppelganger. This brings us to the concept of tulpas and astral clones. Imagine a thought being, a mirror of yourself, but with its own awareness and independent consciousness. It's like having an imaginary friend that can exist and act on its own. But sometimes, these tulpas can get twisted, forming harmful attachments. And it's not just self-created tulpas. The astral plane is full of these thought forms or astral parasites. They come in all shapes and sizes.
Yo, members, let's get some life jackets in the chat for Apex for showing love.
Replicating and feeding off of you, slowly influencing you in negative ways. It's a wild idea that these alien
Whoa, we need to go back and analyze these, man. He finds such crazy photos. Look at this. You got the different chakras. He looks like you got some ghosts surrounding different auras projecting out. Wow. All right, let's go to the next one.
Can get twisted, forming harmful attachments. And it's not just self-created tulpas. The astral plane is full of these thought forms or astral parasites. They come in all shapes and sizes.
Ugh. Look at this dude up top. He's got the frown. Why does the face kind of remind me of Peter Griffin a little bit? What is this even doing here? This is like a cow or a horse looking goofy. Yo, T, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is definitely something crazy going down.
Replicating and feeding off of you, slowly influencing you in negative ways. It's a wild idea that these alien pods in the movie might be more than just sci-fi horror. They could be a metaphor for these astral entities, these tulpas, subtly influencing and replacing us. So the townspeople are being replaced while asleep with exact physical copies. How? The movie suggests that these are aliens, indicating that in the realm of sci-fi, it's possible for an advanced alien species to evolve to a point where plants can grow a pod that develops into a different species, or perhaps a hybrid.
What's it called, man? What's that stuff called? Mycelium. People were talking about mycelium going crazy, of having its own, thought process. I know it sounds out there, but people are saying it, man. Mycelium. That might be something man, let's look at it. Let's look it up. Mycelium. You guys heard of mycelium before? It's a fungal. It's gonna blow your mind. See if I can find something.
Look at her. Y'all see it? Look at her. Y'all see this?
Let me see if I can find something without some music banging on TikTok. I'm talking about some mycelium. Because that definitely goes with this plant theory. Mushrooms. Mycelium. Fungal. Mycelium fungal. Man, I might not be able to find it. I might be spelling it wrong. Damn, y'all. Microcilia. Ah, I can't find it. I'm sick, y'all. Dang, that would have been a good correlation. I'll write it down and I'll put it on a future video. That's a good idea. Yeah, my fault. All right, yeah, my fault. Let's get back to it. I thought I had something, y'all. Thought I had something. Full. What's good though? We at 314, y'all. Hit that like button. They are Archons. Oh, Archon sounds familiar too. I'm gonna be honest. Yo, Corey, I appreciate that. Joe, Mississippi, you know, entertainment purposes only. Robin, what's up, man? Yeah, it's going down today, man. Just a little light work diving into this Cabbage Patch, you know. Mycelium Network, there it is. Thank you, Matt. Hold on. Matt smacked me across the mouth with it. Mycelium Network. Let me try typing that in real quick, y'all, because that goes directly what we talking about. All right. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Please. Mycelium. Mycelium Network. No, I did not type that. They don't want me to show y'all this. I'll click on it and something else will pop up.
Of fungi, so mushroom.
Uh-oh, I found it. The correlation I was trying to make is we're looking at these Cabbage Patch babies and they saying, is it possible for plants to start controlling babies on this Cabbage Patch babies? And the Mycelium network, if you don't know about it, here it is. Let's see what they're talking about and see if we can pick up any type of correlation to what could be going on.
Bodies of fungi. So the mushroom is like the apple. The bulk of the organism is growing underground.
If she knows that there's pests around and that she's under danger, she will increase her competitive environment towards her own babies so that they regenerate further away. It's a magical thing. And this
Mushrooms are the fruiting bodies of fungi. So the mushroom is like the
Yeah, man. It's they communicating already by the looks of it, but on another level, is it possible with these homunculi? I don't know, but the mycelium network could be the internet they using. That's all I'm saying. Mycelium network. Shout out to Matt Walker for giving me the information I was looking for. Mycelium network. Could it have some type of correlation with these Cabbage Patch? I don't know. Hey, let's dive back in it. Avatar. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. You guys are saying some interesting stuff. We might have to do a video on that mycelium, man. Very interesting point. Hold on, man. Let me get something to drink real quick. Hey, Yuskin. My fault, man. I forgot to ask. Did y'all want something, man? I get up again. It's nothing. I got water. I got squirt. Uh, I got some blue Powerade in there. I know y'all probably organic, spring water from the well, but hey, your boy thugging over here, you know. But what's good, y'all? Can we get an interlude real quick? Hyper mode, activate. Interlude, activate. That boy said he wanted badger milk. What? He said he wants sea moss. I can get that. Sandwich, I got you. What do you want on your sandwich? All I got is salami. Salami and baby Swiss. I hope that'll do. All right, y'all. We just had to turn up, man. Interlude. Check in, y'all. Regroup. We gotta regroup, man. Regroup. Mycelium, Cabbage Patch. All right, we're back into it. He said avocado mayo is amazing. I never had mayo in my life. I'm a picky eater, man. I'm one of those kids that grew up chicken strips and fries, everything. Meat and cheese, everything. Yeah, I'm one of them. Picky eater. Meat and cheese, everything. All right? I don't want no mayonnaise. I don't want no mustard. I don't want none of that. That's too messy. I like my stuff plain and simple. I can't have too much going on. I can't have too much going on at all. Black pepper Swiss cheese and pepperoni sandwich. Okay. That sounds fire. I can't do Miracle Whip. I can't do mayonnaise. I can't do mustard. I dip my fries in some barbecue and ketchup. That's it. Y'all be mixing the ranch with ketchup? No. Calling it special sauce? No. The ranch or the mustard or the mayo with ketchup saying special sauce? No, you can have your special sauce. I don't want it. Wait till you get to the Nephilim. Faith of mustard seed all day. Why you gonna pull that card, alright? Okay, I might try some. If you gonna say all that, I might try some. If you gonna hit me with the faith of a mustard seed, I might try some. He said smoking opens your palate. Hey, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just nervous. Like, I would eat lots of stuff, but I'm just a little nervous to try some stuff. That's all. All right.
In the realm of science fiction, the concept of alien life forms evolving to extraordinary levels is a recurring theme. In Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this evolution is portrayed through the idea that an advanced alien species has developed to the point where their plant-like organisms can grow pods capable of creating exact replicas of human beings. This suggests a sophisticated biological technology far beyond our current understanding, where the boundaries between plant and animal life blur, allowing for the creation of a hybrid species. These pods, a product of alien evolution, are not just simple plants, but complex entities capable of duplicating human physiology and consciousness. In the 1954 novel, the story gets even darker. These alien seeds grow into pods that create exact copies of people while they sleep, but there's a twist. These copies only live for 5 years and can't have kids. So if nobody stops them, they'll turn Earth into a dead zone and just move on to the next planet. And one of the alien doubles says that this is just like humans do, using up everything, wiping out other species, and wrecking the environment, all to survive. The Puppet Masters, a 1951 science fiction novel, features secret agents battling parasitic invaders from outer space, with more of a focus on government-level infiltration. Set in a futuristic 2007, amidst a war between the Soviet Union and the Western Bloc, the United States is in a state of reconstruction. This world features unique social customs like fixed-term marriage contracts, ray guns, and personal flying cars. Here, slug-like creatures from Titan, the sixth moon of Saturn, arrive in flying saucers and attach to people's backs, controlling their nervous systems and turning them into emotionless puppets. To combat this, a law is passed requiring people to go naked to prove they're not carrying these slugs. Then there's a 1935 story called Seeds from Space in the Wonder Stories magazines by Lawrence Manning. This tale introduces plant aliens, or seeds from space that rapidly evolve and gain intelligence, even trying to influence the protagonist to spread their species. It begins with a narrator recounting a visit to the Stranger Club.
Yeah, that's a little bit out there. Let me see.
The concept of plant species cloning.
All right, I'm interested in this experiment. Let's see what this experiment has to say. If you're new, just joining us, we're diving into this Cabbage Patch conspiracy, seeing what's really going on. And Mind Unveil has this interesting video we're checking out. Link will be in the description soon. Someone recommended it, and it is fascinating. But it looks like some experiment took place. Let's see what this experiment's talking about.
It doesn't just grow, it changes its leaves to look like other plants. Imagine a vine crawling up a tree, and then suddenly its leaves start looking exactly like the tree's leaves. It's also kind of like those creepy plant tentacles in the Body Snatcher movies, but this is in real life. But here's the wild thing. Scientists think this vine might actually be able to see in some way. Plants like the Bokila vine have these special cells that can sense light. But they're not just soaking up the sun, they're figuring out what's around them.
Guys, that's fascinating. A plant that can see, we already know they can breathe using photosynthesis. Hey, your boy paid attention a little bit. I just wanted to say that, man. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I believe that's how plants breathe, photosynthesis, yeah. But that's fascinating though. These plants it's a lot to plants they're not really telling us, I believe. We gotta really question everything and dive into them. Especially these giant trees too. You don't want me to get started about the giant trees. You really don't want me to get started on those. About how the fallen angels chopped them boys. Don't get me started. That's down the line. We're gonna get into that, y'all. And I ain't even talk about the root system. My last video, it's been a minute since we talked about the trees, and I love talking about the trees, to be honest. I didn't even get to dive into that root system, man. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to talk about. Retro, nature is amazing. Yes, it is. I love nature. I really do.
This vine might be using these cells to copy the leaves it touches. It's like it has its own natural camouflage. And that's got a lot of people in the science world scratching their heads. Some experts even think plants might share some features with animals, maybe even us. This vine's trick of changing its leaves could mean that plants are way smarter than we thought. Maybe they've got something like a brain to process all this info. Crazy, right? But hey, if a plant can act like something out of a sci-fi story, who knows what else is out there in the plant world? The concept of plant species cloning humans might be symbolic of technologies we're familiar with, like test tube babies or cloning farms. But let's take it a step further. What if beyond symbolism, there is once a possibility there's some form of advanced husbandry or ancient technology to actually grow animals with plants? Imagine a surgical procedure creating a chimera, a hybrid that continues to grow, tailored with specific characteristics. Consider the complexity of plant life and fungi. They have more genes than animals, suggesting a level of intelligence we haven't yet grasped. Maybe there was once a plant species capable of growing animals, something that doesn't exist anymore. Well, we do have many stories of animals being grown from plants throughout history, but these have been relegated to the realm of myth and or mistake.
Oh, this is getting good. It's all these old creatures we see in these. Hey, there's a little bit of truth in everything. Every single monster you can think of, there's probably a little truth in there. You know, just a little bit.
That it was simply a misunderstanding. This ties into the Lamb of Tartary. The vegetable Lamb of Tartary is a legendary zoophyte of Central Asia, once believed to grow sheep as its fruit. Now, the mainstream explanation for this is that this was simply a misconception, that these were actually cotton plants. However, the problem with that argument is that it relies on ignoring many details of this fascinating story.
All right, guys. I just want you guys to understand what we're talking about now. A sheep is growing off the end of a plant? Whoa. This is fascinating.
The Lamb of Tartary is also called Agnus Scythicus in Latin, and it was also called Boromets, but interestingly, that's the Tartar word for lamb, but it is also referenced in older books as Bonnerets, which I see no mention of on Wiki. Again, the mainstream perspective, mainly due to Henry Lee's book from 1887 on the topic, is believed to be solved. I think that's just a cover-up. This debate has been going on for centuries, as some of the first descriptions of the Boromets come from early Greek authors. Herodotus makes mention of a plant that produces wool in India somewhere around 442 BC, commenting, quote, "They possess likewise a kind of plant which..."
Yo, hold the phone. Joe in the building for the case of squirt and gas for the jet ski? Let's go. He knows hyper mode be burning. Shout out to Joe, man. Joe Towers. Get a life vest. Members, let's get some life vests in the chat. Get some life vests in the chat. Some may not be able to keep up, so throw as many as you can. Throw as many life vests as you can, because they might not be able to keep up in those waters. Shout out to Joe. We are not looking back. We are... Quantum.
Instead of...
Hold on. Before we go any further, man, y'all need to talk about these sheep growing, these trees growing fruit, lambs. What do y'all think about that? In Tartary? Could that be possible? A tree or some type of plant that has a lamb or sheep growing coming out of it? I've heard of carnivorous, how do you say it? The meat-eating plants, or like the Venus flytrap. And there's another plant that like has like a giant cup to it and has some type of liquid in the bottom that attract pitcher. There it is, pitcher. It there's a Pokemon that looks like it too for bonus points. But yeah, that pitcher plant, the Venus flytrap, I've heard of those. Carnivorous, however you say it, plant. Carnivorous plants. I've heard of those, but I have never heard of a plant that sprouts a mammal from it. That is absurd.
fruit produces wool of a finer and better quality than that of sheep. Of this the natives make their clothes." End quote. Theophrastus, the disciple of Aristotle, had earlier described wool-bearing trees with a pod the size of a spring apple, leaving those of the black mulberry, but the whole plant resembled the dog rose? So a pod? This story is also in the Talmud and Christian Bible, and has been discussed by several Jewish historians. The Mishnah Kilaim section of the Jerusalem Talmud, in attempts to practically expand on agricultural prohibitions mentioned in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, makes an odd foray into cryptozoology when it discusses the Adnei HaSadeh.
Yo, hold the phone. Sever Designs with a $4.99. Let's go. Dark Waters 9. Keep your head on a straight swivel. You gotta put the H in there for the swivel. You know? Someone might be saying something and you're like, man, I don't agree with that. That's what the swivel's for, man. For y'all that be watching and not hitting that like button like you're supposed to, and you don't know what swivel means, let me explain it to you. If someone says something you really don't know if that's what the truth is, you hit that swivel. You hit that swivel, you know, because you ain't trying to hear that. You gotta look for safety. The swivel is you look in the other direction for safety. You have your neck and head is on a pivot point. Let's go, y'all. Where y'all at, man? It's Monday. It feels like Friday. Turn up, man. It's Monday. We got a long week, man. It's Monday. We got till Friday in this thing, man, to finally relax. But I still got to go in low-key Friday and Saturday and Sunday, man. These waters don't stop. Remember back in the day when everything was 24/7? That's how these waters are. Back in the day hours. Shout out to Joe, man. I appreciate that. $4.99. That's going straight to the drone, man. I'm putting that on Squirt and Drone.
Or Fadua, with a vague, unspecific reference to a slightly more animalistic Yedua. This is also known as the Jedua with a J, which is mentioned in Leviticus 19:31, which has been translated as wizard in the modern day. So is this Jedua associated with alchemy or magic of some kind?
Corey, let's go. With the $2. My head's always on a swivel. Now I'm telling you, man, it's for safety. If it's dark out and you hear shh, 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 quick swivel. You look in the direction, you know, and then you look back. When your head is on a swivel, there's no such thing as blind spots. When your head's on a swivel, there's no such thing as blind spots with you, man. We got spidey sense, you know. Our heads stay on the swivel, so I can see my blind spot. I can tell you what's going on right there just because of my swivel. We good over there. Everything over there is good. The swivel over everything's over there good, man. Hey, man, y'all distracting me, man. I'm trying to dig off in this video. Shout out to Corey. He's saying something important, man. I'm trying to find out about these plants and these sheep. Man, these plants spawning sheep back in the Tartaria days. What? Y'all ain't telling me nothing about that. I need more insight on that, man. Let me know if y'all know anything about the Tartarian plants that spawn in sheep. That's interesting. How out cold was their technology? You know? Check out her Mycelium. Who is that? Brother, take a look into Stolen Generation Australia. Okay. Genesis 30:40 describes how sheep bred in a certain area mixed with forest brush made their coats become speckled like forest camouflage. The animal's DNA picked up the surroundings. Whoa. Shout out Method Marine. Let me read that again to y'all that's not listening, man. Let me say that again very slowly. We're going to look this up. Genesis 30:40 describes how sheep bred in a certain area mixed with forest brush made their coats become speckled like forest camouflage. The animal's DNA picked up the surroundings. Just like this plant that they were talking about on this. Hey, that's scary. I got goosebumps. Y'all. We need to dive into that. First of all, we're going to see if that pops up. Submersible, activate. All right. Now we got to type in Genesis 30. Genesis 30:40. I like KJV. You know, you can, if you really want to boil it down, you know, you would have to, you know, learn Paleo Hebrew, you know, but they're all KJV, NIV, you know. If you ask me, they're good enough. It's not easy for me to say that either, okay? Just know that. KJV, NIV, all of them, man. That's just coming from my point of view. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me being honest, all right? You can get to the point across with all of them. But if you really want to boil it down, you know, I personally like the ISR is what I own. And the Strong's Concordance, even though I ain't opened it like I should. Strong's Concordance, and it's called the Scriptures ISR. It's a free download. It's the best. This is closest to the pure translations from the scriptures as possible. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Genesis 30:40 KJV. I like how they talk on the KJV. Art thou? I love that. That's right up my alley. You know? Thou art, I love it. So, KJV, again, you can get good meat from all, you know, even though you can blue letter Bible, you know, you can translate, you can go to your Strong's Concordance, you know, you can blue letter Bible. We got so many tools at our fingertips, honestly. You got what makes us so out cold right now is in our hands, we got humanity's library. I can literally type in this thing in my hand. I can literally type in whatever I want and I can get good information. Good library. You know, mugs ain't running around, you know, trying to read on paper and stuff. We got so much terabytes. And think about your mind too. Your mind, they said the average mind can hold 2 terabytes, 2 to 10 terabytes worth of information. You know what I'm saying? Most people only probably use Most people probably only use a good 1 to 2 terabytes, but if you got 4 or 5 terabytes of good information, you know what I'm saying? So we got the library, just like Matrix, when they jacked it in, when they sit down on the chair and they jacked in, same thing here. It just, our jacking process ain't as quick. We ain't, unless you Neuralinking, but that's a different story if you're Neuralinking, you know. Did y'all see that new movie with J-Lo? Man, that was a good one. Y'all gotta check that out on Netflix. What's it called? What's that movie, that new movie on Netflix, y'all? Y'all gotta see that. I loved it. But anyway, man, y'all be throwing me off topic, man. Dang, man. All right, Genesis 30, 30, 40, KJV. I had a great point I was about to make. Or we're confirming information, honestly, about this. We're talking about sheep growing from a plant. And Genesis 30, 40 might have some 30, 30, 40 might have some information. All right. It says, and Jacob did separate the lamb and set the faces of the flock towards the rings stract, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves and put them not until Laban's cattle. Hold on. Did you say 30 through 40? Because that, oh. All right. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. That's what we do. That's what we do on these waters. We get a gem and we chase after that gem. Each gem points us in the direction of another gem, and that's all we do is we chase the gem. All right, y'all. I'm trying to change this window. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, I need the whole chapter, honestly. Let me see if I can get the whole chapter, y'all. Where's my music at? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, okay? People are saying some very interesting things. And they're saying Genesis 30, 40 could have some clues. And he removed that day. All right, this is Genesis 35. Let's see. And he removed that day, and he goats were ring-stalked and spotted. And all she said the goats were speckled and spotted, every one of them white on it and brown among the sheep. Gave them to the hands of the sons. And he said 3 days the journey bewits himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. Jacob took him rods and green poplar and hazel chestnut tree piled white stakes by the flocks. Rods brought forth cattle ringside, speckled and spotted. I'm not gonna lie. It does sound like there's a significance to the spots of the lamb. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 lines talking about, well, we could say 2 or 3 at least, talking about the color of these lamb spots. So could it have some significance to these with the trees? I don't know. But these aren't your normal spots. It says brown. I don't know. It might be. But it was definitely worth a look. All right, we're going to continue on. What are you guys saying? I need to look and see what you guys are saying. Fallen angels gave us the ancient knowledge. Gen 3041. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place them in the branches, and throughout front the animals, they were, 3040. Placing them upon the branches? That must be 41. If it says 41, placing them on the branches. Oh, among the rods. So rods could rods transfer as branches? See, that's why translation is important, man. All right. Somebody in chat is saying branches. But when I read 41, and this is KJV. This is KJV. And when I go to 41, it says, and it come to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, and thou might conceive among the rods. Could rods be branches? All right. So I never used Blue Letter Bible. I'm gonna be honest. Well, have I? It's probably been at least 5 or 6 years, but we need to look up rods, don't we? I feel like we need to type in rods into the Blue Letter, don't you? All right, this is the Blue Letter. We're going to type in rods. Let me go get mine. Hold on. Let me get my book. Hold on. That would help me out a lot. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. You guys here? All right, what are we looking for? Genesis 40. All right, just a little cross reference. That's all we're doing. All this is just a little cross references. It says Genesis Bashireth. All right. What are we looking for? Genesis 30? Genesis 30:40, right? Well, it says rod still. It still says rod, y'all. I was hoping it was gonna say. And it's interesting because that's how it says Genesis. So yeah, you know, if it said branches, it would have been a little bit, you know, a little bit stronger for me. But it still says rod. So but it's interesting, man. I don't read this enough. This entire book, man. I need to read it more. I don't read it enough. I need to. Yeah, I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. I wanna. I hear you. I gotta definitely dive more into it. Without a doubt. We're gonna rewind it a little bit because it was getting interesting. But yeah, we're gonna start it back over. Hey, welcome to the Dark Waters 9 officially. Severs Designs. Let's go. Welcome. Alright, y'all.
A spring apple, leaving those of the black mulberry, but the whole plant resembled the dog rose? So a pod? This story is also in the Talmud and Christian Bible, and has been discussed by several Jewish historians. The Mishnah Kilaim section of the Jerusalem Talmud, in attempts to practically expand on agricultural prohibitions mentioned in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, makes an odd foray into cryptozoology when it discusses the Adnei HaSadeh.
Leviticus 19:19 and 22:9-11. These include plants, certain mixtures of seeds, grafting, different species of trees, growing plants other than grapevines in a vineyard, crossbreeding animals, working certain animals together, and mixing wool and linen and cotton. Grafting. I haven't heard grafting since Elden Ring. Severs, welcome to the family.
Or Fadua, with a vague, unspecific reference to a slightly more animalistic Yedua. This is also known as the Jedua with a J, which is mentioned in Leviticus 19:31, which has been translated as wizard in the modern day. So is this Jedua associated with alchemy or magic of some kind?
Could wizards? I don't know, man. Could wizards mean something else? This is definitely creepy.
Interestingly, Adnei HaSadeh is not a lamb, but a human that is connected by stem. Yasi from Arki says, "It is a man of the mountain, and it lives from its navel, and if its navel is disconnected from the ground, it cannot live." Rabbi Hamabar Ukva, in the name of Rabbi Yossi ben Hanina, the logic of Rabbi Yossi is as follows. The Torah decrees impurity upon anything which touches a corpse upon the field. This must apply to a creature which grows upon the field.
Let's all right, guys. Let's take a second. Let's just forget about everything that's going on. And we just close our eyes and we quick open it and we look at this picture. Why would somebody make a painting like this if this wasn't true? Is my first question. That's the main thing that's going off in my head. It's like, why would they put all this stuff in such severe detail? Like, especially this painting. Look at this painting, y'all. Marv, it all comes down to the same thing, being able to mix the elements to create a living creature by exchanging materials and sometimes blood. and the life to complete the ritual. Damn. This is some dark alchemy type abomination. This is an abomination. It is like a plant slash human hybrid. Chimera. What if all these were just fit under all the abomination, you know? That's what I'm starting to think. This was just one of the animals that was, or creatures or whatever, was out of thousands of different abominations. And if you really want to get me started, these boys could be beyond the ice wall. They could still be there, you know? Must go beyond the ice wall. Who knows what type of creatures is out there, you know? You'll probably find a couple of these boys, to be real with you. You know, they saying the plants communicate through the mycelium network. We just saw how the plants communicating through the mycelium network. The plant's got its own internet, and it's called the mycelium network. You know, we gotta use internet cables in oceans for our internet to get our communication across. They're using their root systems, you know? This is getting dark.
Some later sources elaborated on the Jerusalem Talmud's fantastic description. The Adnei Sadeh was described as a wild humanoid beast living high up in local Jewish mountain ranges. Resembling a human being, the Adnei Sadeh's life is maintained by a cord which connects its navel to the earth. It is confined to the radius of this cord, which can grow over a mile in length. If this cord is cut, the creature will die.
Isn't that the beast on Attack on Titan? The giant final boss on Attack on Titan that was crawling on his stomach? You know, the only way to kill those things is you had to hit that cord. You know, those giant beasts? You had to hit that cord. This is on some Attack on Titan type stuff.
Even though the Adnei Sadeh normally feeds on local fruits and vegetables, travelers are warned about entering areas where its cord can reach, as the creature could seize the opportunity for fresh meat. In some sources, the Adnei HaSadeh are seen as human-like beings whom God created before Adam and were later wiped into extinction by the deluge of old. Even though this isn't an early source for the vegetable lamb, it's described as a plant-human hybrid, similar to the body snatchers. Imagine a human grown from a plant, connected by a stem, and this idea is even tied to alchemy. The name for this plant in modern translations mean wizard.
Somebody said it reminds me of Harry Potter. Man, that's a great point. What was them little things that was crying? Them druids. You know? We going down the druid order and all that stuff. Oh my goodness. People could have passed some stuff down. That's what I'm starting to think. They might have passed some knowledge down.
In the ancient Hebrew work, Maseh Tobia, there's a fascinating description of this. It talks about the animal boromets found in Great Tartary. The author repeats Rabbi Simeon's description and adds details from a new work of geography. It's said that in Great Tartary, in the province of Sambulala, people grow seeds resembling gourd seeds but shorter. These seeds bloom into a stem connected to the navel of an animal called boromets, meaning lamb because it looks just like one. It's got cloven hooves, soft skin, and wool perfect for clothing. It doesn't have horns, but its head hair grows twisted like horns. The boromet stands half a cubit tall. People say that it tastes like fish, and its blood is as sweet as honey, and it lives as long as it can reach herbage from its stem. If the herbage dies, so does the boromets. It's really interesting how detailed these descriptions of the vegetable lamb are.
A boromet. It's like a plant chimera that gives off plants. Boromet. What language is this, y'all? Latin? Man, this is dark, man. How come I can't do happy TikToks? Funny TikToks? Why did it have to be scary TikToks, man? Relaxing days on the beach TikToks. Why did it have to be scary, disturbing TikToks, huh? Why did it have to be that? It couldn't have been anything else. It had to be that, huh? Goodness, where is my pen at? It couldn't have been rainbow flowers on a beach. TikTok. Boromir. Boromet. This is a chimera plant, y'all. Can you imagine that thing talking? Look, it's got a little frown on his head, like it's about to say something evil. Look at his face. He got a little indentation, like yeah, man, come here. I got some secrets for you, cuz. I got some stuff you ain't heard about. Look at his face. That's what he's saying. They didn't draw it happily, smiling. They put an indentation in, like on some evil takeover type. Yeah, man, guess what? We growing off the tree, cuz. You'd never guess. We've been growing off the tree. All this GMO cotton, fresh off a plant. But you would think these would be the true organics. If it did pop off, you would think that this would be the best cotton you can get because it's organic. It's not synthesized. It's coming from a plant, right? Boromir. What language is this? Latin? Greek?
And they certainly don't seem to be talking about a cotton plant. There's even a depiction in the 1656 edition of John Parkinson's Pardisi in Sol Paradisus Terrestris, where, alongside Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, you can see the lamb tree thriving. In Dubartas, his Divine Weeks and Works, there's a poem about the Garden of Eden that mentions this lamb plant. This connection to alchemy is intriguing and adds another layer to the story. But the main source for the Lamb of Tartary tale comes from Sir John Mandeville, a 14th century English knight and author. After a 34-year journey, he returned to England and brought this strange plant story to Europe's attention. In his book, credited with introducing this phenomenon to Europe, he describes it in a unique way. Interestingly, Mandeville describes it more like a tree with pods. This description comes from the chapter 29 of his book, focusing on the countries beyond the land of Cathay and their fruits, including...
Listen to what he just said. The countries and isles that are beyond the lands of Cathay. What if Cathay is what we know now? Let that sink in. It says countries and isles that are beyond the lands of Cathay. This is the different continents beyond the ice wall. For entertainment purposes only.
22 kinds include.
Hit that like and subscribe button. What are we, 337 in here deep? Damn, man, we've been doing this for 2 hours. I only was supposed to do an hour, boy, man. I was honestly supposed to only do a 20-30 minute video. We've been live for 2 hours. I tell you, y'all that be watching me daily, I try to get short ones off, but these waters got different plans. I was trying to be over with this Cabbage Patch thing, man, but it's just something else coming up. These board meds. You know? Damn. I gotta get something to eat. I gotta throw a Jack's in the oven with some cheese or a DiGiorno stuffed crust in the oven. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you, man. I was gonna throw a squirt in the freezer, press it against the freezer wall so it gets super cold. I was gonna I take a frozen DiGiorno's, and I snap it over my leg or a counter, and I break the frozen pizza in half. And then I take that other half, and I break that half in half, and I slap that boy in the air fryer. Put some cheese on top. If I'm lucky, I might have some frozen chicken I can throw in the air fryer with it. And I'm chilling. I'm gonna watch Oppenheimer. I've been watching Oppenheimer for the last week, going to sleep. Like, I'll get to a certain part, I'll pass out. You know? Damn. We might need to do a part 2 of this, man. That's getting too deep. I'm gonna slap that. I'm gonna slap that DiGiorno's in the oven, in the air fryer, man. What y'all got me on these waters looking at these plants, man? How come y'all don't like the happy and that's what we gonna do next, man. We gonna do happy and uplifting TikToks next, man. Laughing TikToks, man. I'll make some funny TikToks, man. I have a hilarious lineup for y'all, man. This creepy and scary stuff, man, it never ends. The rabbit hole just keeps going. This was supposed to be only about Cabbage Patch. Now we finding out they spawning animals off the plants. People making stories about the plants, you know, with the animals popping off. This wasn't supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen today. This is supposed to be an easy video. We're going to be up all night on these creepy and scary TikToks trying to figure out, are these plants making sheep pop out that's talking to you? Do you know how scary and how big that plant would look like? How creepy it would be? On some Jumanji type stuff, man. Jack's or Tombstone, you can't go wrong. Whatever they got, I go to Dollar General, and whatever they got, I'll take. You got Jack's Pizza, sausage and pepperoni? Give me that. You got Tombstone? Give me that. I'm snapping that boy in half and I'm throwing it in the air fryer. And then I'm taking it out the air fryer. I'm going to put a little butter in the pan and I'm going to sauce that boy up. Get that crust crunchy. What? Stop playing with me, man. I'll get that crust crunchy. I mean, I didn't even have to heat up the oven. All air fryer action and just a little bit of stovetop work, baby. Stop playing with me. Hit that like and subscribe button, man. We on these waters, man. I need a break. Can I get a lunch? Do I get a lunch? Do I get a 15-minute break on these? Do I get a 15-minute break on these waters? Damn. I'm supposed to get a lunch, right? I get one lunch, right? Yeah, let me take my lunch. Give me 5. No, I'm just playing. Give me a little bit. Hold on. Y'all funny, man. I was supposed to get a lunch, man. I get a 5-minute lunch. Y'all got me on these waters. I'm supposed to get a lunch. I'm calling the temp service, man. I'm about to call on staff, manpower, calling the temp service. I'm saying y'all ain't giving me my lunch. Y'all said a part of this gig I get is 8 hours and I get 2 lunches and I must have steel toes. The temp service said, "Do you want to be on Dark Waters 9?" I said, "Yeah." They said you need steel toes and you need, it's gonna be 8 hours and I get my lunch. How'd you know I got Pop-Tarts though? Shout out Apex. Go make your pizza. My favorite video is you eating that pizza on Dark Waters with us. Take 5. They don't remember that video of me eating that pizza, man. That's crazy. You remember me eating that pizza. That was either a Jax or a Tombstone. And it was burning my mouth. I remember. It was a cold day. Eating a hot pizza, burning your mouth on a cold day hits even harder. I feel bad for y'all that don't got the snow. Like, y'all be feeling bad for us that got the snow, that stay in Florida and stuff. Because, oh, man, they get cold, man. I can't do the cold. Well, we can't do the heat. We got to see them seasons, baby. I got to see them icicle crystals popping off. You know what I mean? Hey, shout out to Apex, though, for the 5. Thank you. We diving on these waters, man. He said, call in the Labor Max. Labor Max on staff, manpower, union ready, labor ready. Employment Group, Trillium, all them, man. They said, hey, all we need is steel toes. And it's 8 hours and you get a lunch break. Okay, sign me up. The pay is $16.99 an hour. There's overtime sign up for the weekends. Fork truck needed. Forklift experience, please, is a plus. You know? Stop playing, man. Y'all got me. I'm gonna be honest though, y'all. This is creepy though, man. These waters y'all got me going through about this plant. I'm gonna have nightmares about this now. A damn goat coming from a damn plant. You know how big a damn plant gotta be for a goat to come through it? That's disturbing. That is creepy and disturbing. And it's talking? Man. This is not part of the plan.
Closed within the mountains. What's really interesting here is that there are several elements in the chapter that seem interconnected but are often overlooked in discussions about the Lamb of Tartary. Well, this is what he says. Quote, "Now shall I say you, suingly, of countries and isles that beyond the countries that I've spoken of. Wherefore I say you in passing by the land of Cathay, toward the high end and towards Becaria, men pass by a kingdom that men clape Caldali, that is a full fair country. And there groweth a manner of fruit, as though it were gourds. And when they be ripe, men cut them a two, and men find within a little beast in flesh."
In case you guys are just now joining us, this is Mine Unveiled Cabbage Patch video. Link is going to be in the description at the end of this live stream.
Flesh, in bone, in blood, as though it were a little lamb without wool. And men eat both the fruit and the beast, and that is a great marvel. Of that fruit I have eaten, although it were wonderful, but that I know well that God is marvelous in his works. And natheless I told them as great a marvel to them that is amongst us, and that was of the barnacles. End quote. But listen to what he says next. Quote, "For I told them that in our country were trees that bear a fruit that become birds flying, and those that fell in the water live, and that they fall on the earth die anon, and they be right good to man's meat. And hereof had they as great marvel, that some of them troud it were an impossible thing to be." End quote.
Yo, the fact that they got art of this is creepy. You know, this is accurate. This is super creepy, y'all. Sir, please, sir. Can I get a break? Yes. Going hard. You already know. Sir, I'm supposed to get a break. Let me know. Let them know, Joe. Yeah, this is creepy, man. Do y'all see this? This is a plant. And it looks like it's some type of red. I'm fasting too. You know? In the book it said, "Master, how do we cast these demons out? With prayer and fasting alone." That's why I fast most of the time. I'm fasting. I'm still fit. Did I eat anything today? No, I had some pizza earlier. But normally I'd be fasting. And I do need to eat better, y'all, man. Don't be copying after me, man. Eat better. Get you some salads. Get you some smoothies. I used to preach smoothies on my earlier videos, man, but I fell off. I just be trying to survive on these waters nowadays, man, to be honest. It's tough. Especially with these plants. I'm going to be dreaming about these nightmare penguins coming up out of this red tree. This is disturbing.
impossible thing to be. End quote.
Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that like and subscribe button. You know, if you're afraid about hitting that like button because it messes your likes, oh, I have my certain likes in the order, so I only hit likes on the button on the videos I'm gonna watch it. No, I ain't trying to hear that, man. Hit that like button, man. We need that. It's your boy Jet Ski Chuck. I need it.
Now, there's no way the Lamb of Tartary could just be mixed up with the cotton plant. Let's break that down. 1. There are pods and flesh. Their description clearly mentions pods and a fruit with actual flesh and blood. This isn't your typical plant imagery. 2. He shows awareness of similar marvels. The author acknowledges other marvels, hinting at a broader knowledge of such phenomena. He even suggests that people thought these marvels impossible, which implies there's truth to them. 3. The flesh is for food, not wool. The plant is said to grow flesh meant for eating, not wool, which means this was grown as some type of food. You don't eat cotton, right? So this blows the cotton plant theory out of the water. 4.
I believe, honestly, beyond the land, there's possibly plants and creatures we haven't seen for entertainment purposes. And I appreciate you guys for hitting that like button. Steve Venting, I appreciate it. Hit my like when I came in. I appreciate y'all, man. I know some people don't like hitting that like because, oh, it messes my likes up. I refer back to my likes because that's my video. I go in and I get it, man, but I need that like, man. We need it to get more like-minded people in front of these videos, you know? But if you're asking me right now, do I believe that there's some plants that spawning mammals out there beyond the ice? Yes, I do. I believe there's some crazy stuff going on. I believe that yeah. I don't know why, but I keep thinking of like fish that don't need water. Like imagine like a fish, but like imagine it in like the air though. You know, just going through the air. I don't know why I keep thinking of that.
There's even a separate wool-bearing tree that is later mentioned in the same chapter. There's talk of trees in Beccaria bearing wool like sheep's wool, used to make clothes. This is distinct from the first land plant, which grows without wool. The author even ties this to the barnacle goose legend, another dismissed myth. Speaking of the barnacle goose,
Ugh. Look at this, y'all. It's wearing clothes. Who would draw something like this? Do y'all see this? This is disturbing. Ugh.
barnacle goose legend, another dismissed myth. Speaking of the barnacle goose, this legend is pretty wild. It describes geese emerging fully formed from plants, not eggs. Some illustrations even show what look like pods. The earliest account of this is in an 11th century book of riddles. What's more, it's linked to a dead tree, maybe hinting at putrefaction, alchemy, and spontaneous generation. Pope Pius II describes it as, quote, "We heard that in Scotland there was once a tree growing on the bank of a river which produced fruits shaped like a duck."
Hey, this might be real, y'all. One reason why I say this might be real is because of this right here. This is not the first illustration that we seen that was red. Why are they making the tree red? They keep making the tree red, y'all. This is disturbing. I have to dive into this. Be expecting a video on this, man. There's got to be more to it. You know, there's got to be an explanation. We need video documentation of the whole process of this happening. Can you imagine that? Somebody catching that on video? Somebody might have it. I might need to look into it. But I don't think they're lying.
Pope Pius II describes it as, quote, "We heard that in Scotland there was once a tree growing on the bank of a river which produced fruits shaped like a duck. When these were nearly ripe, they dropped down of their own accord, some into the earth and some into the water. Those that landed on the earth rotted away, but those that sank into the water instantly came to life, swam out from below the water."
That looked like a griffin. Man, how crazy are these images? They was on one, bro. To draw this. Look at this face. Is this a griffin? What is going on? These are creatures beyond the wall. I'm going to tell you another reason why it kind of makes sense to me. I believe animals are on a whole different conscience field. Because they did a study where monkeys, you know, were all thrown a banana, but it was tied in a bag of string on each different island. And one land of monkeys, they knew how to cut it open, and it started transferring to each different island that they can use a stone or some way to open a cage. I don't know, but there's some way they can open the bananas up. And it was through this conscience field that they was able to communicate, because there's no way that they could have swam to each other. So I believe animals and plants could be on the same conscience field. I believe we could possibly tap into it, but it's not really something that's going to bring in like salvation or nothing. It's more like a top level superpower or top level, you really getting your nature on type stuff. That's just how I'm thinking about it being possible in my mind. Because I don't know how they're talking about the plant that was able to see the different other plants and turn into it. It's like, it has to have some type of intelligence. And if that's possible, that's how I can see it being done. For entertainment purposes only. Keep your head on a swivel. But this is concerning. I'm going to have nightmares about this. Look at it, man. Why is its head upside down eating something? Yeah. These dark waters, man. A boar mess. We got a plant creating birds, and we got a griffin eating it. What are y'all saying about this, man? Looks like a dragon eating one of those birds. I fell off the tree. Could be a dragon. Looking up. It's got a crazy face. It looks like it's got some type of human hair. It's a griffin. Marv said it's a griffin eating one of the birds growing from its back. It's like Bulbasaur. Quinn, I hear you. I don't want it to be too crazy. I hear you though, man. I can only do, you know, but I hear you. Shout out to Joshua, Retro, Marv, Joe Breeding. Could be a wingless dragon. Interesting. All right then, Joe. Have a good one, brother. I don't know, y'all. This is creepy.
Brought it away, but those that sank into the water instantly came to life, swam out from below the water, and immediately flew into the air, equipped with feathers and wings. End quote. And believe it or not, this myth stuck around all the way until the 18th century. It even caught the attention of John Gerald, a renowned herbalist, and Carl Linnaeus, the famous Swedish taxonomist. It's also fascinating that completely separate from the Lamb of Tartary and the barnacle goose is another legend that the Chinese refer to as the water sheep. And it's not just folklore here. There are actual documents from the Han Dynasty around the 5th century AD that mention the down of the water sheep. Then in the Tang Dynasty, around the 10th century AD, we get even more concrete descriptions. Gustav Schlegel translated one such account. Quote, "There are lambs which grow in the ground. The natives wait till they're about to sprout and then build a wall to enclose them in order to prevent beasts coming from outside devouring them. Now their navels are connected with the earth, and if these are cut, they will die. But the people, the shepherds, don their cuirasses and gallop about on horseback, beating all the while on drums in order to frighten them. The lambs then get afraid and, with a shriek, they rend their navels and are then driven into the water pasturages." End quote. Baron Sigismund von Eberstein was a diplomat for the Holy Roman Empire, particularly when it came to Russian affairs, and his major work, Rerum Moscoviticarum Commentary, Notes on Muscovite Affairs, claimed to have discussed the vegetable lamb with many credible sources who suggested it was common to an area in the region of the Caspian Sea. Quote, "In the neighborhood of the Caspian Sea, between the rivers Volga and Jake, formerly dwelt the kings of Zavolha, certain Tartars, in whose country is found a wonderful and almost incredible curiosity, of which Demetrius Danielovich, a person in high authority, gave me the following account. Namely, that his father, who was once sent on an embassy by the Duke of Muscovy to the Tartar king of the country referred to, whilst he was there, saw and remarked amongst other things, a certain seed like that of a melon, but rather rounder and longer, from which, when it was set in the earth, grew a plant resembling a lamb, and attaining to a height of about 2.5 feet, and which was called in the language of the country Boromets, or the little lamb. It had a head, eyes, ears, and all other parts of the body as a newly born lamb. He also stated that it had an exceedingly soft wool, which was frequently used for the manufacturing of head coverings. Many persons also affirmed to me that they had seen this wool. Further, he told me that this plant, if a plant it should be called, had blood, but not true flesh, that in place of flesh, it had a substance similar to the flesh of the crab, and that its hooves were not horny like those of the lamb, but of the hairs brought together into the form of the divided hoof of a living lamb. It was rooted by the navel in the middle of the belly, and devoured the surrounding herbage and grass, and lived as long as that lasted.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't get creeped out. Like I can really hang in there with some creepy stuff, but this is probably top of the line for me. Like it's like, damn. It's shocking. Sheep. I don't even know what to say. It's and you got the Chinese dynasty that was Ming Dynasty, 5th generation, that said they actually seen it. So that's cross-referencing from 3 different locations that said they seen it. If we go back in the video, 2 other people have a reference of them witnessing it. So it's like, this isn't something new. I'm trying to think of how easy would it be to go across the ice wall with an airship. There could be a whole civilization. Because if you think about it, the Antarctic Treaty, you know, it's deep, you know. Maybe it's a lot that they trying to hide from us, if you ask me.
When there was no more within its reach, the stem withered, and the lamb died. It was so excellent a flavor that it was the favorite food of wolves and other rapacious animals. From Herbertine's Rerum Muscoviticarum Commentary, 1549, end quote. But let's get real about this whole vegetable lamb thing. Most modern historians are quick to brush it off as a quirky way to describe cotton plants. But I'm not really buying that explanation. Here's why. First off, cotton's been around in India and Central America for ages, but it only showed up in Europe in the 8th century, thanks to the Moors conquering Spain and Sicily. Before that, Europe was all about sheep's wool. Now, medieval Europe was no stranger to superstitions, but let's not forget, most people back then were farmers. They knew their plants and animals inside out. Sure, they might find an exotic plant odd, maybe even spooky, but they know a plant when they saw one. They wouldn't mistake it for some half-plant, half-animal freak of nature. The scholars and travel writers of the Middle Ages, the guys penning down all the botany books and travel guides, they were a bit more clued up. They wouldn't just mix up a cotton plant with some mythical creature, especially not if there was money to be made. And then there's this wild link with the Chinese tale of the water sheep. When we dig into the folklore, it's too easy to think that our ancestors didn't know what they were talking about or that they were just plain dumb. But that's not giving them enough credit. They weren't complete idiots. So we've got 2 types of these mythical plants. First, there's ones producing pods that transform into animals. Then there's another with a stem connected to a navel. Cut it, and the hybrid dies. But isn't it interesting that modern science often acts like it's got everything figured out? But that's a bit naive. Consider the science fiction concepts that are now becoming reality. With the rapid pace of progress, what once seemed impossible is now within reach. Yet, while many are open to the idea of advanced plant aliens from another planet, there's reluctance to entertain the possibility that such life forms could have existed in our realm in the past. It's a curious contradiction. We're willing to embrace futuristic concepts in science fiction, but hesitant to consider similar possibilities in our own history. Some might argue that the idea of merging plants with humans isn't scientific, but let's remember that alchemy, the precursor to modern chemistry and science, often explored the harmonious integration of the natural world, including plants and humans. Take the mandrake, for instance. It's traditionally depicted as a human figure emerging from the ground. This plant is steeped in folklore, known for its uses in spells and inducing dark hallucinations, famously referred to as the screaming of the mandrake.
The screaming of the mandrake on Harry Potter. That makes sense now. Okay. That's what I was thinking of.
Delving deeper into alchemy, we find numerous illustrations of men and women with branches sprouting from their bodies. While these could be seen as symbolic, the sheer number of these depictions is striking. Alchemy was about extracting the essence of plants to create transformative elixirs. This concept is vividly explored in the Voynich manuscript, which focuses on the use of plants in the creation of spiritual bodies. Moreover, various cultures have legends about humans originating from plants. For example, in Buddhist mythology, there is the Nari fawn. This tree bears fruit in the form of young female figures. These are maidens growing attached by their heads to the tree branches. There are supposedly two Macalaiporn pods.
What y'all got me working on? They done found 2 real mandrakes, y'all. Shout out to Mina Unveiled. What is this? Is this real or not? Oh, man. Let me know in the comments now. Y'all thoughts below. What is it? Is it real, y'all? This is Dark Waters 9 officially. We are, if you didn't know, we're in Dark Waters 9, now you know. This looks like a straight mandrake, y'all.
In a Buddhist temple near Bangkok. It's believed that the Nari fawn originated from the Haima fawn, a mythical forest in Buddhist lore. While hoaxes are prevalent, including photos of Nari fawn girls sprouting from trees and dried Nari fawn figures, the depth of this legend's integration into the culture is fascinating. Now let's go back to the movie. The pods in the invasion of the body snatchers have been linked to cabbages. It's not a direct connection from the movie or the novel. They don't specifically mention cabbages, though they do talk about big green leaves. But there are other references in pop culture that seem to interpret the body snatchers' pods as cabbages. Like the movie Invasion of the Saucermen, released just a year after the original Body Snatchers film. This movie features aliens with literal cabbage heads. This isn't just speculation. It's right there in the posters and original artwork, clearly labeling them as cabbage heads. Plus, the title, Invasion of the Saucermen, is the same as Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and the poster even shows these cabbage-headed aliens snatching a woman. So what's going on here? Is it just a coincidence? Or could it be that the audience back then saw these plant aliens as some kind of cabbage-like creatures? We can confirm the cabbage connection with the last video on the Dark-Winged Duck episode, which is obviously referencing the body snatchers. Here, the pods or alien clones are shown as cabbages. But why cabbages? In the 1978 version of Body Snatchers, the pods don't really resemble cabbages, yet they are green and produce clones. There's a scene in a spa where a clone appears during a mud bath, hinting at a creation from mud or earth. I'm honestly not really a fan of this one. Jeff Goldblum's role seems overstated, as if they just wanted to increase his screen time. The film's way longer than it needs to be, but there is this notable scene in a factory where these pods are being grown and the protagonist sets the place on fire. Interestingly,
Caesar, you about to eat one of them, man. You gonna crunch into it? You might hear it now.
in the 70s one, they swapped the whole scene in the office where Barnell from the 50s version uses the syringe on the clones. They swapped that in this one, and now instead, Matthew uses a dart and the clones use a syringe on them, which begins to get into a whole different subject matter. Like I said, I don't really like the 70s version, and the ending is really bad. Matthew just screams and we find out that he got hijacked. One thing about this movie that stuck with me is that there's this random dog with a human face that's just terrifying and out of nowhere. It actually looks kind of real and the tongue comes out, so not sure what's up with that or why they did that. The connection between cabbages and the Body Snatchers theme pops up again in a Canadian show called SCTV. It's not a widely known show.
He didn't have to show us that, man. He could have kept that to himself, man. He didn't have to show us that dog, man. That dog was terrible. Why'd he show us that? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. This episode's messing me up, man. I'm gonna be messed up, man, after this.
I didn't really know about it. I just kind of stumbled upon it by luck. But they have an episode titled Zontar, where an alien uses cabbages for mind control. These cabbages start glowing and take over a security guard and another person, turning them into what can best be described as zombies or puppets. It's just
Please research homunculi. I got you. Video coming out, homunculi.
another interesting link between cabbages, aliens, and the manipulation of the human mind. Then in the 1993 Body Snatchers, which was okay. It's better than the 70s version, but not as good as the original, and it's not as intense as the others. In this one, it's definitely a plant, but the pods aren't that apparent. But there is a scene that's interesting because the general black guy calls the head clone Head Cabbage, which seems to be really random. Why is he the head cabbage? Also, the movie The Thing, especially the original, is about an advanced plant alien. Interestingly, in the 80s movie, there's a dog plant creature that is referred to as a pissed off cabbage. So, multiple references to these alien plant beings being related or connected to cabbage in some way. Now, honestly, I want to say that the 2007 one is my favorite in the sense of how intense it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, the original is the best, but the 2007 one is just wild and I think is actually scary. For some reason, it has bad reviews because it revolves around Nicole Kidman. I mean, sure, they changed a lot of things about the story, but the vibe is right, and it's just super fast paced. It's an experience for sure. Now, there's something in this movie that would probably be better if we didn't mention, but I highly suggest you watch it, and when you get to the point, you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what he's saying. But there's a part in the movie that'll blow your mind if you haven't seen it. And let's keep in mind, this is from 2007.
What movie is
So I don't know,
this?
part of that is what made the movie so terrifying, that it would even be associated with this concept. All I'll say is that the clones were connected with government and had a certain plan to spread their kind that was different from any movie. Very bizarre that they would even bring that up. But yeah, it still gets into the idea of NPCs, mind control, and parasites within government that do not have our best interest and are attempting to reset the world, essentially through a cloning program that is focused.
Bro, that dude is terrifying. This dude, he is terrifying. Look at that face. He's smiling at you and grinning at you at the same time. Like that's scary. This dude is scary for real. What's this movie they're talking about? I want to see it. What is this movie? Mars Attacks? What's this movie called with Nicole Kidman? The Invasion. I gotta write that down. I appreciate it. We might be getting to members only chat, y'all. You know, they said that already. My fault. I need to set this up to members only so I can see. I gotta see what my members is saying. Y'all said The Invasion, good looking. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Have y'all seen it? Have you guys seen it? We need to watch it, man. If you haven't seen this, everybody watch it. Have you guys seen this movie, The Invasion? And did you like it? Is what I want to know.
essentially through a cloning program that is focused on removing all problems in the world, creating a utopia where there is no pain or emotion. So yeah, that's my take on the invasion of the body snatchers. I would say the original and the 2007 versions are the best. What I find particularly intriguing is the widespread perception of the pods resembling cabbages, or the memory of them as such. This suggests that the idea of cabbage-like pods has been culturally ingrained or accepted.
You said you haven't seen it, but you remember when it came out. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it. Always in Nicole Kidman fan, but it's creepy in a different kind of way. You'll enjoy it as well. Say less. I'm gonna check it out.
Which is an interesting reflection on how the movie has been interpreted and remembered over the years. One thing that I wanted to finish off with is that there's apparently a myth that eating raw cabbage leads to brain-eating parasites. I'm not saying it's true. There seems to be many articles trying to dismiss this. But from what I can tell, it seems that for a long time now there's been a myth that there is some type of parasite that grows specifically on raw cabbage. The article claimed that according to some unidentified researchers, certain raw vegetables were particularly susceptible to tapeworm infestations, cabbages among them. There is a Times of India article that said that the worms would creep into the cabbage leaf layers and lay its eggs, unseen by the naked eye and impervious to high cooking temperatures. If infected cabbage is digested, the article claimed that tapeworm spores can make their way through the bloodstream to the brain. Once there, it's reported that the parasitic infection could cause a headache, brain swelling, paralysis, seizures, and even death. I always find it interesting when there's an effort to debunk a story, with explanations pointing to fecal contamination on these leafy greens. But I just find it interesting that there's even a narrative about parasites and mind control, and the association of these pods with cabbages in the body snatchers lore. It makes you wonder if there's some kind of underlying connection. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and let us know if there's anything else we should check out associated with cabbages, orphans, or anything else you want us to cover. If you would like to support us, please consider getting our first book on the cabbage babies. It helps with explaining the background of this research, and it's great to share with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and all we can hope is that our minds may be unveiled.
Wow. I'm gonna buy that book. I have to get it. That was crazy. Well done. You guys scared to eat cabbage now? You guys gonna keep eating cabbage? Jet wing, activate. Hey. You guys still gonna eat that cabbage? Ramen cabbage soup, that ain't stopping you. I'm going crazy with that cabbage. Or not. I need cabbage in my egg rolls. I'm going crazy. Give me 4 egg rolls with that cabbage in there. You know? Oxygen levels 10%, y'all. Only time I eat cabbage is when it's in egg rolls. cabbage in my egg rolls, you know it's gonna slap. See what else I got. More Tartarian videos.
Yo, 14, you got another one.
More Tartarian videos coming up. Y'all just wait on it, man. I'm doing my best to pump these videos out. But it'd be tough for your boy. I ain't gonna lie. It's tough being on these waters. This is messing me up. These plants growing sheet. What am I supposed to do? Mugs is cross-referencing, seeing these plants growing sheep, connected at the navel. What am I supposed to do? These waters are never ending. We're going to that dark continent. You Apex, you know I want that Jax. You read my mind. I gotta snap that boy in half. Spray some cooking oil on it. Going quantum with the quantum rectifiers. You already know. Hit the eject? No. I'm not hitting the eject. Membership available, man. Chat might be going to membership only, man. I appreciate y'all. I can't be missing what the members saying. I gotta tap in. It's just me. I got nobody on my left, nobody on my right. Yeah. But let me know what y'all want me to see in the future though. Stream some games? What games?
Yo, 14, you got another one.
What games y'all want to see me play? I don't even got no games on this PC. I gotta download some. Dang, I missed your 5 donation retro. I'm tripping. I gotta get my donations activated. Good looking. Donating for the pizza. Oh my God, I did miss it. Shout out Retro. Oh my God. Shout out Apex. Shout out Retro. Severs Designs, Corey, Joe Towers, Apex, Welcome Mel, Lil Bop, Lil Bo Peep. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. I'm gonna make that retro. I'm gonna make that perfect. I'm gonna make that Jax perfect, man. We pulled off a 3-hour stream though. But we might be playing some games, man. Y'all be playing some games. We could play together. Just let me know what y'all be playing. And I'll try to play it. Get on some Overwatch. We can get on some Overwatch. I don't know, some Elden Ring. We can go crazy. Some Warzone. We can do Warzone. I gotta download it. Y'all got headsets? Do y'all want to jump in? What's up? Any of y'all got mics? Y'all want to jump in the jet? Any of y'all want to say what's up to the people and talk? As long as y'all don't say nothing crazy. You know, y'all can hop in the jet if y'all want. It said hop on DayZ. I'm about to start a faction. Official servers coming soon. Uh-oh, we might have to get in DayZ. What is DayZ? Call of Duty, but I ain't played in a Winkle. Watchdog. What is DayZ? Ever played No Man's Sky? No, I haven't. Well, I could jump on some Ace Combat. Yeah, I'm on Discord. as long as y'all don't cuss, man. I ask that y'all no cussing, you know. Please. I try not to cuss on my videos or my streams, you know. I want to see you play Subnautica. Man, always wanted to try that. Subnautica, that might be the one. Get my submarine. That might be the one, y'all. Subnautica. Let's hack the Matrix. Subnautica might be the one, y'all. Alright. That's what I'm going to forward it to then. Let me type it in. Isn't there like new ones? Subnautica. Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different Subnauticas. They got Subnautica 3. We're going to the edge. That's the destination, okay, OG Pope? We're going beyond the edge. I'm trying to get home so I can throw my jacks in. And I'm trying to see if I can download Subnautica. Their website is tight. I like their website. Subnautica's website. I can't. It's not letting me. But yeah, be expecting some. What's Random Nautica? Oh, I gotta buy it for Steam. Yeah, this is what we about to play, guys. Not on today's stream, but when I end my streams, we might be diving off into this. Subnautica. I'm gonna try to figure it out. Hold on, let me turn my chat back. Whoa, Joshua gifted 5 memberships? Let's go. How do I? Yes. Huge shout out to Joshua. for gifting 5 memberships. I believe I allowed it. Yeah, I allowed it. What's good, y'all? We just winding up this stream, man. I'm trying to end this stream with y'all. But we just chilling, looking at Subnautica. I'm probably gonna be streaming this at the end of my streams next game, y'all. And be sure to send me as much creepy and scary photos to my Discord or my email. Here's my email. You can send me any photos, videos you want, and I'm gonna share them with people. But yeah, huge shout out for sign up those memberships. We're getting a lot of members now, man. These chats gonna be going to membership only. So this might be the last Wild Wild West stream. You know, and you might have to be a member to tap into the beginning is gonna be everyone, but once we start chopping stuff up, you know. But right now it's Wild Wild West. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all, man. That's it for today's episode. I appreciate the episode. Yeah, man. Be expecting some if you guys have your mic and you guys wanna jump on Discord, we're gonna be talking. I'm gonna be able, you guys could jump in the jet with me, talk about topics together, you know, in front of the people. Have special guests, you know. If you guys would like that, you know. Just whoever wanna jump in the jet, talk your piece, you know. You think, you know, this happened, the Naki did this. Oh, the plants did this. All right, talk your piece. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold you back. Just don't cuss or say nothing crazy, you know? Just keep it respectful and civil, you know? Ain't nothing but love on these waters. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys, you know? Thanks for hanging out on these waters with me. I love you guys. I appreciate it. Huge shout out to all the Dark Waters members. Everyone who went above and beyond. Joshua with the 5 gifted, that was huge. Thank you. Retro Queen Gamer, huge thank you for the pizza, but I'm actually putting that to the Subnautica. Apex hooked me up with a pizza. I appreciate you, Apex. Severed Designs, welcome to Dark Waters. Corey, I appreciate you got your head on a swivel. Severed Designs, thank you. Joe Towers, thank you. Apex again, thank you. Apex, I can't thank you enough. Lil Bo Peep, thank you. Welcome to Dark Waters. Mel, welcome to Dark Waters, y'all. Never too late to join the Dark Waters, man. But until next time, man, y'all have a good one. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right, I got to go home and make this jack.